My name is Carla Seguera, Supervisor of Instructional Technology, and today I'm going to go over how do you use the PDF Reader with the Read and Write toolbar. So in order for you to start this, you need to make sure you have all the correct extensions already put into your Chrome. So you're going to go to our district homepage. There's a Staff Teaching Resources section. This is our staff corner. You're going to click on our Technology Resources. And if you scroll down to where it says Read and Write and you click on that, the first three buttons on top are all the extensions that you need to make sure you have before you start using the PDF Reader. Students already have this pushed out to their Chromebooks, so you don't need to worry about any pieces on their end, but you do need to make sure that you have everything in order for you to utilize it correctly with your students. Once you have that done, you can go into your Drive and you're going to find a PDF that you want to use. And what you should do the first time is right click and go to where it says Open with Read and Write. The moment you start to open the document, you'll notice a bar that will come on top, just like this. And you'll notice it'll start to move across until your actual PDF pops up. Okay? So now you have your PDF ready to go, and you also have your new toolbar that has populated. Again, this should happen automatically for students. If for some reason it does not, they can click the little toolbar up here, the little puzzle piece, and it should populate and come down as well. Okay, so let's go through some of the pieces of the toolbar that are really important for you to know. Number one, the play button. The moment you hit the play button,
increases difficulty in making friends and maintaining.
It will start to read different parts of the PDF. Now, this is useful when you want students to hear a particular part of the PDF, but you notice that it automatically focused on the picture first. So depending on how it is positioned in the PDF, it will focus on reading something particular. But let's say you want the student to really start with here, right? What are ACEs? So what you can do is use the screenshot reader, have them highlight what they want to read first, okay? And they can hit play. Sometimes the screenshot reader actually will, if you see it's working with different colors, once it actually reads it on its own, it'll start to move and read by itself, okay?
ACEs are serious childhood traumas.
To stop the screenshot reader, you notice how I hit stop. It doesn't work with the stop button. You do have to hit the X button to stop the screenshot reader from actually working. Okay, so this kind of just helps the student figure out exactly what they want to read. So if they just wanted to read this section and they don't want to read the whole PDF, again, they would click on the screenshot reader, highlight what they want the computer to read. They can wait for it to actually populate. So you'll see the bottom right here populating. Okay. You can hit play sometimes, but again, it doesn't always play correctly. So just wait for it to download.
Can include.
And make sure you hit the X button. This gets a little confusing even for myself the first time because you just want to hit play. But again, if I hit play,
increases difficulty.
It doesn't always read what you want it to in a PDF. So the screenshot reader is very important just to help with that piece, okay? There's other things that you can do on here, such as highlighting features. So just like in Read and Write, if you ask a student to highlight, you can ask them to highlight, what's the main idea? Can you give me facts to show that this is supporting the main idea? And again, I'm just highlighting to highlight. Okay, and now once the student has highlighted all of the information on the PDF, they can click the Collect Highlight button. They can indicate which colors they want to highlight or even sort the position of whether you want it by color or the position of where it was in the PDF. And if you hit OK, it'll create a complete separate document for you where all the highlights are put in place, and it even gives you access to the PDF document that the student was using. This is good if a student has, like I said, a particular assignment where they do need to pull out information from the PDF. They can share this with you. They can turn it in as their assignment, and you'll be able to check for understanding. Okay, let's say we want to delete all of these highlights, you can just clear the highlights just like that. All you have to do is hit the clear highlight button once they have completely, highlighted everything, just to clear it, okay? The other thing you could do is vocabulary list. So the vocabulary goes by the highlights as well. And what you normally do in Read and Write is if you find certain words that you need help with, or certain words that you feel are important and you might need to share with your teacher, whatever it is that you need the vocabulary for. It's easy for students to create it. I've used this when students don't understand a particular word. They may want to highlight those words, or you can ask students to highlight the ones that they feel that they have a better understanding with. Whatever it is, you can have them highlight just the words. And if you click the vocabulary list, this will populate their own list in another document, just like it does with a regular Google Doc. And now it gives them the word, the meaning, if there's a symbol, and there's a section for notes. Students can use the note section to put their own meaning based on the readings. They can delete this. As a teacher, you can do this as well and share vocabulary lists the way that you want it done, since it's already set up for you. Okay, so that's how you do the vocabulary list. Now let's go into a couple of other things. You have Screen Mask. So this again is to help the student read and kind of just go through it little by little. This can be if you click the little settings button and you go to screen masking, you can change the background colors of the screen masking, the color for the reading, whatever it is that you need to make this easier for your student to see. Okay, so that's something that you can use. They also have a typewriter button. Now, the typewriter is really a text box. So I know it says typewriter, but I always think of T for text box. What you can do is put this anywhere in your document and you can type into it. A student could, write something meaningful about what they're reading. In this section, which is really important, they can change the colors, fonts, they can do word predictions. But what I do like is that if I didn't want to type something in this box, I could click on the little headphones button. And once you click it and start talking, it actually records and types it for you. So I'm going to stop this button now. And if you can see, everything I just said has been typed for me. The student can also hit play.
Hello, I could click on the little headphone.
And now it'll read it to them so they can check to make sure that they said exactly what it is that they wanted to put for the teacher to understand, okay? So this is how you play with the text box. What's also interesting, and I'm going to just pop that out. Anytime you click on text in a PDF, like this, if you notice, there's a little button here that kind of populates on the side. This button is really important. This is where you can leave students' comments. So if you click on this button, you can type a comment for a student right on here. And a student can also do the same thing, right? They can type a comment. They can also record themselves saying something to you. And they can also play. They can add a picture here. They can add an attachment that you maybe, maybe you want to share with them or they want to share with you. And all they have to do is hit comment. Now, when this particular PDF is opened, it will be annotated, and now you'll be able to see the comments on the side. This means the students can also see the comments you have put for them. So if I click this little caret, there's also a reply button. So now you guys can have a conversation back and forth about what it is that they're working on, okay? And again, you can share pictures with them. You can share attachments, anything you need. You can also sit here and edit what you've already written on this part, or you can delete. Okay, so again, this is anytime you touch a piece of the text, right? So if I'm in certain sections, I can write here saying, please look at this again. This, you can write something like, this was great, but can you, double check this? Whatever it is, this is a great way to leave comments for your students, okay? You also have a freehand draw section and shapes. So I'm going to go over freehand draw. So freehand draw is when you click this little button right here, You can change the line colors if you want. You can change the thickness of your line, and the student can literally just draw on the PDF. Okay, that's the freehand draw. They can also erase what they've done, okay, just by clicking the eraser and clicking on what they have actually used in terms of drawing, okay? So that is the freehand draw. This is great if you're using this for a math problem, or you just want students to go around and just, circle certain pieces or underline certain pieces. You could use the freehand draw to do that. They can also do shapes. Okay, you can change the colors, again, of the shapes. You can fill the color a certain way. You can fill in, the shape a certain way, thickness. And if I'm using this box, again, because I filled the color with a color, it'll actually take everything away. Okay. But again, that's depending on how you fill in the color. So if I fill in the color and make it so that it's transparent, I can just just pretty much put the shape over where it is that I want the teacher to see as a student, or if the teacher wants a student to see something, again, it's just a way to highlight information for them. You can do circles, you can create your own lines. So if a student is just underlining and wants a straight line, they can use that too. Okay, so that can be a little easier for them. Okay, there is things like dictionary, picture dictionary. We've used this before in Read and Write, where if you highlight a word, so let me just make sure I'm off my shapes. Okay, and now I'm going to highlight, let's say, this word problems, and I put it in the dictionary. It will give me a definition, and I can hit play.
Noun. A question.
To hear the definition. I can translate a word. I can't translate an entire document, but I can translate a word. So if I hit the translator, it's right now set to Spanish.
Problemas.
It'll give me what the word is in Spanish. So if students are having trouble with a particular word and they're not sure what it is, they can do this to kind of give themselves, oh, it's a cue. This means problems. Okay. So it's supposed to help with that piece. The good thing about talking about Spanish speaking, when a student needs to, let's say, share information with you, si empiezan a hablar en español, so when you start to talk in Spanish, it's supposed to pick up what you're saying in Spanish. Although I'm speaking out loud, it's a little hard because I don't have a great mic. It didn't pick up my Spanish words very correctly. But it is supposed to help the student be able to speak into it in Spanish. And then you can play it. The teacher can take that, whatever they said, and put it in a translator and kind of translate what they have said. This does work really well normally with the Chromebooks. Students can talk right into it. It just could be a little tough with background noise, but that way they can at least communicate in Spanish and have it type it out for them. Okay, and this is also a feature you have seen in Read and Write as well. Okay. In terms of the buttons down here, I would normally tell you not to play with this. This is more if you wanted to just print or download the PDF. This will not let you download the annotations or print the annotations that have been made. Okay, so please don't get this confused because sometimes people think it will do that. That's why it's really important for students to have their own copy of the PDF in their particular drive so that you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Click to speak.
ACEs are serious childhood traumas. This toxic stress may prevent a child.
Just another way, almost like the screenshot. But what it does is it makes the student actually have to pick on what it is they want to hear and go line by line. That could be easier instead of highlighting the text. But if they're going to be reading an entire text, you don't want them clicking line by line by line. Just highlighting it might be a little easier with the screenshot reader. So there are a lot of options in terms of how you utilize the text-to-speech feature in here. Okay. The other thing that we were able to figure out with this, and this is for my math folks, and we are going to try to create a separate video for you to see, but What you can use is the Equatio toolbar now that you have the PDF reader open. So you do have to have the PDF reader open, and if you click on your Equatio toolbar, it does actually populate now. What that means is if you have a PDF that students need to actually put an equation in, they can do that now because the PDF reader actually activates so that the Equatio toolbar works with it as well. And I know some of your documents for math are in PDF and students get them as a PDF. So now students can annotate them and actually add the math in without you having to recreate anything. So again, we're hoping we can follow up with the math folks to kind of do some of this, but I wanted to give you the heads up because I know a lot of you are already using Equatio and know how to use the toolbar. So again, just as long as you have this toolbar open, this Equatio toolbar will now also work. Okay. I hope this was helpful, guys. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Again, I know this is something that a lot of teachers were asking for. I know some of you had saw things, especially in our PDs about Kami, and Kami is very similar to this. The only issue with Kami that it is actually no longer free. And the good thing is we already have a subscription to the PDF reader, and it does everything that Kami pretty much does, and it works with our Equatio toolbar and with our read and write suite. So it's really important that we utilize the same extensions because it does make it easier for students to relate back and understand how to use the tools. Again, I hope this was helpful. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.